Hi folks, Scott with PetraTools. First, I just want to thank you for purchasing our new Wheelbarrow Sprayer and trusting PetraTools. You won't regret it. Now, I'm here to tell you about its features and corresponding benefits for your lawn and garden care. But first, we're going to unbox the packaging that the Wheelbarrow Sprayer arrives in. As you can see here, we have everything secured inside a wooden crate. Looking at the side on the data plate, we see that the box and sprayer combined weigh just over 160 pounds or 75 kilograms. So you're going to need some help getting this one around. That's why we put it in this sturdy box. In the front, you see the PetraTools logo, and that's it. Clean and simple. Let's start with the unboxing. Okay, so I've slid the axle through. I've taken the wooden piece that arrived in the shipping container off, placed the silver washer right up against the axle. You're going to take your wheel. Remember to put the air valve on the outside. Next, the locking washer. Then the silver nut. You're going to thread that down. And then finally, you're going to put the axle sealing nut over the top and tighten that down. Do that on both sides. Okay, next we're going to install the reel base. To do this, we're going to need the reel base. We're going to need two 7/8" bolts and the nuts that fit over the top of them from the accessories bag. Place the reel base like this, line the holes up, and thread the bolts through. And then securely mount the nuts over the top. You're probably going to need a pair of pliers to get these tight. Okay, for this next step, we're going to install the reel onto the reel base. Make sure that the handle, the red handle, is on the left side, opposite the wand holder. For this, you're going to need two pins, two cotter pins to hold it in place, and two washers. These will be in your accessories bag. Let's do this. So I'm going to drop the reel on. Then I'm going to line these holes up, push the pin through, put a washer on, and then push the cotter pin through. I'll show you on the other side. Okay, I'm going to line the holes up. I'm going to push the pin through. I'm going to slide the washer over the end and then push the cotter pin through to lock it in place. Remember, the reel needs to be on the left side, opposite the wand holder. Okay, this next step is pretty simple too. You're going to take this brass 90-degree connector. You're going to put a rubber washer into it, into the big end, not the small end, to the big end. You're going to seat it down in there. Next, you're going to take the hose, which is probably reeled up, And you're going to thread it through. There's actually a holder underneath of here. You're going to thread it over top of the axle, and then there's another holder here. And you're going to connect it to here. There's already a washer in place on the end of the hose. So we're going to thread that on, and then we're going to thread this on. Good and tight. Okay, for the last step, we're going to install the two handles. Obviously, you'll need the two handles. You'll also need 4 bolts and the 4 nuts that go over the end of them. Slide it in. Slide it in. Once you've lined up the 2 holes, you're going to push the bolts through. There we go. And then thread the bolts down, thread the nuts down on the inside of the handle. And we're going to wrench tighten those in just a second. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to switch your wheelbarrow sprayer from the reel attachment to the 8-foot boom attachment. Super simple. The first thing you're going to need to do is take a 17mm wrench. You can also use a pair of pliers, but you're going to disconnect the hose here at the base. I've already loosened mine. Okay, just lay that aside. Next, you're going to take off the cotter pin and the washer, and then you're going to push the pin out that's holding it in place. You're going to do the same on the other side, and then you're going to lift your reel straight up. Our next step is going to be to remove the reel holder here. We don't need it for the boom. Now, I'm going to use my 10mm and my 15mm to hold the bolt and the nut and turn them. So the 10mm goes on the nut, the 15mm goes over the bolt head, and then I'm just going to turn them off. Until I can finger loosen. Do the same on the other side. I've got the nut finger loose, and I'm going to take the reel holder off and set it aside in a safe place so I don't step on it. Now, I'm going to use the same nuts and bolts to attach the boom. I'm going to set it down on top like this, and then I'm going to feed the bolts down through. And then tighten the nuts over the top. Okay, I'm going to put the nut on the end of the bolt here. Put them through the bracket. I'm going to hand tighten, and then I'm going to tighten it up good and snug with my 10mm. Okay. Now that I've got that in place, I'm going to bring the hose back out. And remember, that was a 17mm. So I'm going to attach this hose, give it a few spins, make sure it's tight. Also, make sure the black gasket is in there as well. So we're going to tighten up this hose, and then we're ready to go. Okay, we've attached the hose. We've attached the 2 bolts, tightened them by hand, and then cinched them up with our 10 and 15mm. Now we're going to lower the boom, as they say.